on Monday, June the 10th. Lord. I'm worn out. Oh, yeah. Oh, I thought I wasn't going to survive the 2-job thing last year. Whew. Of course, Francesca wasn't there last night, so I ended up not getting a ride home from regular work. And then there's a new guy that started today. So instead of meeting Peter over at Shepherd Park, I had to walk all the way to the shop. So did a lot of extra walking, a lot of extra forward. I don't know, best foot forward. That doesn't make any sense. I've made the rest of my Apple Blaz cheeseburger. I don't even remember. Whiskey bacon burger, I think is what I had. But while that cools down, I thought I would make today's video. Oh my god! Because I don't think I'm going to survive for very long at all. So, let's get right down to the nitty and the gritty and the dirt and the band. How do you feel about meeting people online? I mean, I'm cool with it. Because that's one of my soapboxes that I will get on anytime people are like, don't sit there and fucking tell me that internet friends don't mean as much as real life friends. Because, I mean, you can go hang out with real life friends. Yeah, sure. If you can get together, like, oh, how many times do you make plans? Oh, we should get together sometime, with your friends. And it's kind of like, oh, let's go do this, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we should go do blah, 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 blah. Does it ever fucking happen? 9 times out of 10 fucking no. But, like, I've met people through Facebook, a few through here, YouTube, that it's like the other people, like, all over the world that I never would have fucking met if it wasn't for the internet, if it wasn't for Facebook, if it wasn't for social media. People talk about how bad social media is, and yes, it can be. It takes your focus away from, like blah, 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 yada, 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 whatever, living in the moment, yada, yada, bullshit, wank, wank, wank. I don't really want to hear about any of that, because, I mean, that's, like, I can film something and still live in the moment and experience, and be just as happy about the experience as I was if I hadn't, if I'd been standing there staring at it the entire time, like, and some people in, social situations, maybe they feel more comfortable being behind a camera and filming stuff. And, another good thing about, not living in the moment, so I guess that's a whole other question. I'm off on a different soapbox now. But it's like my friend Matt, because of his health and whatever, like he has memory loss, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And he was just so happy. He was just so happy when I started posting video. I can't remember why I posted the first one, but I was like, here's a video of us doing whatever, blah, 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 because he didn't remember it, but because I had taken the time to make a video, make a vlog, it's on the internet for him to re-experience and be like, oh yeah, I totally forgot about that, blah, 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 blah. We'd had a lot of happy times together, and he remembered a lot of happy times. People talk shit a lot about social media, online, blah, 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 meeting people online, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And there is a negative side to it. I feel like people, I don't know, like, it's just kind of a commentary on people in general and how they're just fucking negative for no fucking reason. It's like, they go to the worst case scenario, like, oh my god, you sent an instant message. There's no instant message anymore. I'm showing my age. It's like, oh my god, you sent, you said hi to someone on the internet, you're gonna get human trafficked. You know what I mean? Like, oh my god, lock the doors, barricade. It's like, for fuck's sake, I think most people are out there are just looking to make a connection with, some other person, and hopefully that person isn't like a fucking creep-ass fucking stalker, or, looking to human traffic people. I mean, those people are out there, it's like, I think most people are just, wanting to meet other people. It's just like, way back in the day when, chat rooms were a thing. And it's like, you'd go in there, like, it'd be like, you'd go into like a Buffy the Vampire Slayer chat room or whatever. And people were like, ASL, age, sex, location, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Because they were looking to make that, connection with somebody that was, I mean, you would think if you're in a Buffy chat room, like, hey, let's all just discuss Buffy and we have something in common, you know, but they're looking for, you know, I mean, and of course, you know, unfortunately people can lie, you know, if young people are looking for people their own age, you know, or older people are looking not to talk with younger people because they're annoying. You're annoying. Or, you know, sometimes the older people are looking for the younger people, and it's like, hey, I'm a 12-year-old kid too. Let's become friends. You know, I mean, there is bad shit happens in the world. It does. But the good also exists, and it's like, it's there. It's always there. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm off on a whole different tangent now, but it's I guess I'm speaking on social media in general, you know, and like meeting people online. And I mean, somehow, you know, I mean, I guess if you're talking about like, you know, for romantic encounters, whatever. I mean, people do that all the time. You know, they hook up for a Tinder date and they don't get murdered. You know, you know. Well, I mean, some of them do, I guess. You know, like, but I feel like the people who just get their rocks off are probably a higher percentage than people who, you know, get murdered. Ever vigilant, I guess. I don't know. Like that, you know, Mom used to say that was one of her sayings. She's like, oh, it only takes once. You know, it only takes once, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, well, you spent your entire life worried about that one time something might happen, and I'm just gonna, like, live without fear, I guess. You know, it's just, I don't know. I don't think the world, I mean, I'd like to believe that the world is not as scary and mean of a place as it seems to be, as, you know, people would have you believe, you know. I don't know. I feel I'm off on a whole other tangent, I feel like, but I mean, it's all social media in general, and it's just kind of like, you know, I added people for games over the years on Facebook, and I've gotten to be, you know, good friends with them, you know, like some of them are like, hey, if you're ever, you know, there's one girl I know from Wales. She's like, you're welcome to stop by for a cup of tea, I guess, cup of coffee, whatever, you know. So I mean, these are people that I never would have met if it wasn't for the internet, if it wasn't for online. And of course, this question might be speaking, like I said, more romantically or whatever. And, you know, I mean, you know, people have met online and then, you know, blossomed into a, you know, relationship, you know, maybe a situationship, who knows, depending on, I mean, I guess as long as it's between two consenting adults, I don't give a fuck. I just fuck whatever you want to fuck, however you want to fuck, however many people you want to fuck, I guess. I don't give a fuck. It's your own, like, as long as it's consenting adults and everyone knows what they're there for, I suppose. So, but I mean, you know, meeting people online, I'm cool with it. You know, and as far as like, if I were to die tomorrow, like, there's just as many online people that would be sad about me being gone as there are people, like, in person. You know, like, they would be just as upset over me being gone as people who, you know, I'd seen face to face, like, maybe not almost every day of my life, but, you know, like, so, I mean, you know, I don't know, it just, I feel like the bond is still there, you know, the friendship is still there, like, you know, get to be, you know, good friends with people online, even if you never get a chance to meet them. I've gotten a chance to meet a couple of my online friends, so, you know, in person, and hang out, you know, so that's always cool, you know, but, you know, we bonded over one thing or another, or, you know, we added each other for a game on Facebook, and then it's kind of like, you know, in our feed, you know, like the girl I was talking about from Wales, I don't know if she still lives there, but originally when I first met her, she lived in like this, it was like picturesque storybook fucking, like, you know, fantasy village. Like, it even had like the little stream going through it with the like the cobblestone bridge. Oh, like, it was like so fucking like Cinderella fairy tale. Like, and it existed. It was in real life. It's where she lived. She kept posting pictures from it, and it's like, it was the area she lived in was just so beautiful, you know. So it's like, I mean, you never, like, I don't know. It just really pisses me off when people are like, it's like they're trying to have an excuse to be fucking miserable. Like, oh, online friends don't matter as much as, yes, they fucking do. Shut your fucking mouth. Like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. It's horseshit. It's bullshit. It's just this mentality. Like, it's 2024. Like, there's some people, like, you've never met in person, but it's like you can contact somebody on completely the other side of the world, and become friends with them and talk to them every day and, create a relationship, create a bond, create a friendship, like, I don't want to hear it. It's fucking horseshit. Shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear that bullshit anymore. It's more of this, oh, technology is so bad, whatever, blah, 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 blah. I mean, it can have, like, it's just like every fucking thing, in life. It's like, I guess, in moderation, maybe. Or it has its good and its bad, the yin and the yang, like, yes, there's some shit that goes down online that's not so great, but then there's shit that does, that is great, meeting people and, bonding over, like, in these groups that I'm in, people like collect things, whatever, blah blah blah, and I want to say maybe it was the lady that was collecting cat pins or something, and other people in the group, these complete strangers, contacted this person and was like, "Hey, I've got some cat pins that I'd like to add to your collection if you want to have them, whatever, blah blah blah, you know." And as far as I know, that person didn't get tracked down and murdered, you know. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I haven't heard from them in a while. Maybe they did, But it's just like, strangers reaching out to strangers and, like, hey, here, like, it's... Or people have, like, bought things, because they'll post something in, like, the, unique finds that need to be shared or whatever it is. I don't know. One of those Facebook groups or whatever. And it's like, somebody's like, if you buy it for, like, I'll send you the money, whatever, blah, 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 if you'll ship it to me. And I mean, that people have done that before. They've helped complete strangers out just because they posted something in a Facebook group, there's like, the people are like, I would love to have that. Can you ship it to me? And they're like, yeah, sure. Why not? So there's still good in the world. There's still, like, it's not all fucking negative. It's just not. It's just not. Social media isn't necessarily, like, I almost wish that I would have had social media when I was a child, because I grew up in a small town and a string of small towns, and it's like, I mean, there was nobody in my town, and, in my 600-person town, that was, like, into the same things that I was. I mean, Robert, he watched, like, the X-Men cartoon. I was the only one watching Power Rangers. I was the only one, like, reading the comic books. I was, like, my friend Jason did read some comic books, but I think it was more, like, Batman or something. Like, or, like, Labyrinth, like, all of my fantasy, stuff. And it's like, I mean, Robert was kind of an outlet, because, I mean, Jason, my friend Jason, who, he actually moved to a different town for a short period of time, even though it was only, like, 10 miles away, but, so, we still saw each other every once in a while, but it wasn't like we were getting to hang out at school all the time, or whatever. But it's like, I kind of, like, hid that part of me almost, I mean, I guess not when I was around Robert or something, but it's like I was almost, like, ashamed of, like, being a nerd, because it's like nobody else was a nerd, like, I mean, it didn't stop me from watching Power Rangers and, reading comic books and, just being a total, nerd, dork, geek, whatever you want to say, or like, even, like, soap operas, One Life to Live, I grew up with those going on in the background. And it's like, if I had had the internet and I'd had a chance to meet people that, that were like me, that were interested in the same things that I was, maybe I would have learned a lot sooner that it wasn't something to be ashamed of. Like, I remember going into a One Life to Live group, and it's like, I brought up Luna Moody thinking that nobody would remember her, like I was the only one that would remember her or whatever. I was like, multiple people were like, oh yeah, I remember the character Luna, I loved her, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, oh, there are people out there that know what I'm fucking talking about, you know what I mean? Like, yes, there are. They're all over the place. You just have to connect to them, and the internet helps you do that. Online helps you do that. You know, like, you can find your tribe even if it's not even if it's not like in person, if it's just online, you know. You can find it, it's out there. You know, it might be virtual. And all this stuff that you can do now, like FaceTime and what's the one that popped up during the pandemic, you know? Not Skype was the old one. What's the one that everybody talks about? I don't know. Some kind of face-to-face, like Zoom call. You can get on a Zoom call and talk to people and, like, you know, see them in person, whatever, live. You can live stream on YouTube, you know, and connect with people that way if you want to. You can, you know, you can go live on Facebook if you want, and as far as I'm concerned, as long as, like, you're making a connection and, you know, I guess a positive connection, like you're making friendships, like, you know, there's nothing wrong with it, you know. If it helps you feel better about yourself as a person, go for it, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if I had other nerds and dorks and geeks to, like, because I remember talking about when they were bringing on Power Rangers, when they were bringing Tommy back as the Green Ranger. And I'm like, oh, because I was asking my friend Jason if he still watched it, and he was like, oh, yeah, sometimes. And I was like, I was just all excited. I was like, oh, they're going to bring Tommy back. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they're going to do it. And he was like, oh, yeah? And he was like not really, you know, interested, I guess. And it's kind of like, oh, okay. And then I just kind of shut up and didn't talk about it anymore. You know what I mean? But it's like, if I had had somebody to share my excitement with online, you know, like, that would have been a positive thing, would it not? You know, like, I don't know. Like, so that's what, it just makes me so mad. It just makes me so mad when people say that meeting people online or online friends don't matter, or they don't matter as much as, like, real life friends. Horse fucking shit. That is a narrative we need to wipe off the face of the fucking planet, you know? Wipe off the face of the fucking planet, because, like I said, I have connections with people that I never would have met if it wasn't for the internet. So, you know, you can take that whole bullshit and shove it right back up your ass. Shove it right up the bull's ass. You can get a good look at a steak by that's one of the Chris Farley movies. I don't remember the quote. You can get a good look at something by sticking your head up a bull's ass. T-bone? I don't know. So, I don't actually remember how the question was worded. How do you feel about meeting people online? I feel like it is more than fucking fine, you know. It is a good thing. It is a positive thing, you know. You might have a 10-year friendship end up crashing and burning. But hey, it happens, you know, I guess. You know, but meeting people online is fine. It's good. It's healthy. I don't care what anybody else fucking says about that bullshit. Oh, it makes me so fucking mad. Oh. Oh. I don't know, man. I don't know. But anyway, that's that. I have a burger to eat. Now that I have my adrenaline pumping, because I'm just so mad. Oh, I'm just so mad. When people say that shit. I might be awake for a little bit longer. Probably not. But hey, as long as I get this uploaded, that's all that matters, right? Keep on keeping on. Not missing a day, you know? So, even though I got itchy eyes from... Well, I swept the shop today because Peter, I don't know if I got to that part of my story. The new guy was with Peter, and the new boss didn't realize you couldn't fit 3 people in the trash truck, so I just ended up at the shop, and he was like, "Oh, just sweep until I get back," blah blah blah. So, dealing with a lot of dust and a lot of grassulins. But anyway, that's that. That's for today. Um, Online friends are important, and I'll see you for what I see.